Thank you. Glad you're all here this evening. I'm going to start out with a little bit of a report. This session, we passed the Tax Reimbursement Incentive Act. That's a new economic development tool that I was the floor sponsor in the Senate. It went into effect the beginning of July. In the first 3 months, we have had 25 applications taking advantage of that act. 4 of those have been approved, 1 has been announced. The one that's been announced is the SkyWest aircraft maintenance facility at the Boise Airport. These are jobs that pay above the median wage in the county where they're coming in. Those applications would, if we were to get all of those, it would be 3,200 jobs in our state and $2 billion in capital investment into our economy. Now, we probably won't get them all, but we're getting some very good new business into our state, manufacturing sector, good high-paying type jobs that we wouldn't otherwise get because we've done that. And even before that, we were sitting 8th in the nation for manufacturing growth and growth in manufacturing jobs over the past year. So we're doing pretty good. It's not what may have been presented all the time, but we have some good things happening. We've been working hard, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of that kind of thing, but we are working hard to bring higher paying jobs to the state of Idaho. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to cordially thank the Idaho Press Tribune and KBOI2 News, as well as the other sponsors, for putting on this forum tonight in order to inform the voters in Legislative District 10 and 11. My name is Representative Brandon Hickson, and I currently serve in the Idaho House of Representatives in District 10, Seat A. I serve on the Business, Health and Welfare, and Transportation and Defense Committees, as well as the Healthcare Task Force and the Idaho Commission on Hispanic Affairs. I'm a 4th-generation native Idahoan, and I have a vested interest in our beautiful state. I live in Caldwell with my wife Danielle and our great children. I took an interest in politics around 8 years ago when I started to become very aware that I was uncomfortable about what the future of America's young families looked like. I decided it was time to extend my time and talent to the people of District 10. When I was elected back in 2012, I made commitments to you all that I would listen to your ideas and concerns and translate those into public policy that would make Idaho a better place. As you have seen firsthand over the past 2 years, I have delivered on those commitments. In my first term in office, my greatest accomplishments have been engineering common sense solutions that empower the average Idaho family. Here are some of the major initiatives I have undertaken while in office. I have stood firm for our Second Amendment gun rights that have been under federal attack. I have voted to cut taxes on 90% of small businesses across this state. I have voted to restore funding to our public schools to nearly pre-recession levels. I have given our veterans the support they have earned and absolutely deserve. And I have been a leader in reforming healthcare to help Idaho families fight high healthcare costs that continue to rise with no ceiling. I have always actively listened to you and followed up on your concerns, and publicly listed my personal contact information for you to get a hold of me anytime. I have served District 10 with honesty and integrity, and for that reason, I ask for your vote November 4th. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Travis Manning. I'm proud to be a father of 3 kids and a husband to my wife, Ann. We've been married for 14 years. We've loved living in Caldwell going on 10 years now. I'm a high school English teacher and wrestling coach. My wife has served for many years on the Caldwell Bikeways and Pathways Committee. We're active in our church and other community activities. I don't talk about my Idaho roots very often, but I did want to speak briefly about my great-great-grandfather, Willard Dwayne Cranny. A man of hard work, he was a miner, hunter, and trapper in his early years, and former bodyguard to Brigham Young. He farmed much of his life and later started a mine outside of Oakley, Idaho. What I take from my great-great-grandfather is his work ethic, his faith, his persistence, and his contribution to his community. Today I'm asking you to vote for honest representation for long-term prosperity. Like my grandpa Cranny, I believe that personal responsibility and hard work are what make a man a leader among men. I'm here tonight to talk about why I'm the better candidate for Caldwell and why I decided to run. I'm running because Idaho's public schools are in crisis. Our governor admitted to Mike Ferguson in 2012 the legislature was not meeting its constitutional duty to schools. Currently, 44 districts have 4-day school weeks. 94 of 115 school districts are passing school levies just to keep the lights on. These are not long-term, forward-looking solutions. We have school buses that ride that darn freeway out there that have not been a priority of the Idaho Transportation Department or the legislature. We know a strong economy is tied to a strong public school system. We need students prepared for 21st century jobs, but instead Idaho has the second highest percentage of minimum wage jobs in the entire country. As a teacher in Caldwell, I see how the policies at the Capitol impact the children in my classroom every day. Many of my colleagues have large class sizes. We have students riding buses on broken roads, roads that impact the movement of goods throughout our cities. We need to make schools, jobs, and infrastructure a priority. It's all about priorities. Mike Ferguson proposed an alternate state budget this past year that shifted budget priorities to education and infrastructure. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Greg Cheney. I grew up in rural Canyon County. My wife Sarah and I now live in Caldwell with our 6 children ranging in age from 3 to 13. I have a Bachelor's of Arts degree from Boise State University in Communications and Political Science. I'm proud to be a product of Idaho's public school system. I'm proud to be an alum of one of Idaho's public universities. And with 4 of our kids already in school and 2 soon to follow, education has a very special place in my heart. I have a very vested interest in making sure that we move forward with quality education that gets quality results. Our state's at a crossroads in a number of areas, though. It's important as we move forward on decisions relating to tax policy, job growth, religious freedom, and education, to keep in mind the effects that these decisions are going to have on Idaho's working families for generations to come. We need to keep the economy moving. We need to keep jobs growing. We need to keep the sources of the revenue that we'll use for the next generation of education moving forward. We need responsible, limited government. We need to protect our Idaho way of life for future generations so that this continues to be one of the best places in the country to raise a family. District 10 needs representation that is representative. Someone who is responsive, and someone who will defend the policies and priorities that are important to District 10. In short, the views of the representative should reflect the district. As the conservative, common sense candidate, and best in tune with working families, I know I'm the right candidate for the job. Together we can build an Idaho full of promise and opportunity for our families. Thank you for your support.
Good evening. My name is Gordon Council. I'd like to be representative for District 10, Seat B, graciously left by the excellent Darrell Bowles. My big idea for Idaho is that the public sector, school districts, right up to state agencies, has got to start to disengage from all the out-of-state vendors and contractors, foreign vendors and contractors, and because they're taking hundreds of millions of dollars out of the state every year. Now, you got Idaho Sand and Gravel, big projects, building roads, trace their ownership from Utah to Florida to Ireland. Have we got a gravel pit? Okay, we got the city of Boise contracting their water operation to a French company, United Water. I went 15 years from now, and they've got 1 million people. Are they going to be still sending that revenue off to France? We got Food Services of America of Arizona, Cisco Foods of Texas, selling us meat for our school lunch. Those kids should be eating Idaho beef and Idaho poultry, salmon fillets from fish farms from eastern Idaho. And of course, we have Republic Services hauling our trash. That's a big project, hauling trash. So that's where the money's going. Now, these companies are bigger than Idaho. They have bigger budgets. They've got more employees. This is an example of the ticks being bigger than the dog. Okay? So now I've lost my place. Where was I? Oh yeah, we're creating jobs in Idaho, they say. We're creating jobs. No, those jobs were already here. You came and bought the companies. Now you've removed the executive jobs and the clerical jobs out of state, and you left behind the lowest paid workers in America. Thank you.
Can everybody hear me in back? Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Tribune, and thank you, KBOI, and thank all of you for coming today. and giving up your free time to be informed. I'll give you a little background on myself. When I was 8 years old, my family moved to Los Angeles from Sweden. My folks came to this country with very little and opened a small retail business. My dad worked nights as a janitor, and my mom worked nights as a waitress, while they took turns running the business during the day. And eventually, when the business became successful, we were blessed to live the American dream. And my parents are my role models. And for the last 35 years, I have been self-employed as a business owner and an independent contractor. Now, the reason I'm running for this office is because I genuinely believe that I'm the most qualified person for this job. I've lived in Caldwell for over 20 years. Both of my kids were born and raised here. I've served on the Caldwell School Board since 2008. I'm a member of Kiwanis, a community service organization that raises money for education, and I'm a member of Boone Memorial Presbyterian Church. I believe we need to work together, and I believe I know the values of this community, and I share those values. And yes, I am a Democrat, as was Harry Truman and as is Cecil Andrews, the two Democrats that I admire the most. I'm proud to say that Cecil Andrews has endorsed me. I'm also proud to say that Chris Allgood, our current police chief, has endorsed me, as has our former police chief, Bob Soba, both longtime Republicans. I say, let's leave the partisan nonsense in Washington and work for the people of Idaho and the people of District 10. My name is Leif Skiving, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Pardon me. I'm Eugene Spencer Smith. I was born in Nampa back in 1952, raised out on Sunny Slope of the folks' fruit ranch. You might well remember Willard L. Smith Orchard out there, close to Marcy. I am the person who's been on the local radio for about the past 25 years, doing two-way talk radio with you folks. I am a veteran. I have served off and on in the regular and reserves and National Guard since 1970 up through 1995. I've served in several wars and whatnot in between. I am a disabled veteran, and I am also stage 4 cancer. I will be dead probably before the next 3 years is up, so you don't have to worry about term limits. I am definitely not running for re-election. I was a member of the Idaho House of Representatives back in 1983 when my mother suffered a series of small strokes and could no longer continue in her position. I was appointed to her position for a short time prior to Ron Crane being selected for that position. I am the person who invented the dead-eye sighting system for military small arms and assault rifles. I have been on the phone with various arms dealers and manufacturers trying to get some of them to move into this area. I think that we have a very good chance at getting a new manufacturing plant somewhere in the state of Idaho, possibly up a little further north. I do own a gold mine up near Bergdorf, Idaho, beautiful country up there if you ever want to go up there. And I am a member of the VFW, the DAV, the American Legion, as well as the Caldwell Veterans Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks the Press Tribune, KBOI, for inviting us here. And I'm running for the office of State Senator from District 11 in Canyon County. My husband of 46 years and I have reared 4 children of our own, and we reached out to our 3 grandchildren when our son was murdered 9 years ago. And we've been raising them since. And I'm running for office because we need a voice to speak for Idahoans, all Idahoans, not just a few at the top. We need a voice that is not a statement dictated by an ultra-right-wing group from Arlington, Virginia, not Idahoans. I'm speaking out for education, for more sources of funding, so that young students will not be doomed when we have downturns in the economy. And they're like upturns. The economy is very cyclical, and it will go up and down. We need to get rid of the 4-day weeks and the substandard spending. And my grandchildren go to these schools. I feel it every day. They go to a 4-day school. Now, I wasn't born in Idaho. I was born in western Colorado. My husband and I had a fruit orchard that we inherited from his parents, and we worked it for almost 40 years. We came here, we chose to come here because Idaho had so much promise. We need a cross-section of citizens. We need good things for Idaho, and I'm asking for your vote for the people. And I do live in the district. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank Rita for taking care of the grandchildren. It's a difficult time in our life, and there's a lot of folks that don't step up and do that. Thank you, Rita, for doing that for those kids. I'm Patty Ann Lodge, and I'm currently serving as the senator from District 11. I can only promise you what I promised you when I began several years ago, and that was that I would seek out waste, fraud, abuse, duplication, inefficiency, and overutilization of your tax dollars. That I would be mindful of you, the taxpayer. And that is what I based my time in the Senate on. I'm not afraid of hard work. Done it all my life. That was how I was brought up by parents. I've served in the community in many aspects, and I serve in many leadership positions in the Senate, which is very helpful to Canyon County. I bring you common sense, conservative leadership, but I'm not an ideologue. I listen to people, and I vote on the facts. I serve as chairman of the Senate Judiciary and Rules Committee, which is a priority committee. I serve on the Senate Leadership Committee, State Affairs, and that's the select committee. And I'm a member of the senior member of the Senate Health and Welfare Committee, where I served there 7 years as a chairman. Both of those committees are very difficult committees. And I sought out changes during that time. One was Medicaid reform, so that we could try to even the playing field between those who pay for their insurance and those who have trouble paying for their insurance. As chairman of Judiciary and Rules, I have championed justice reinvestment, which will save the taxpayers $288 million. I would like to continue this hard work for you, the citizens of District 11. Thank you very much.